Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And as you know, lots of companies are pushing towards the bezel-less smartphone. However, there aren't too many budget devices that really have very slim bezels. And a company called Doogee reached out to me and sent me this phone called the Mix. And this device has a 5.5-inch display that essentially has no forehead on it. So yes, that means the front-facing camera is at the bottom on the chin of the device. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to unbox this guy, show you real quick what's in the box, give some first impressions as well. All right, let's begin. And as you can see, the box says Mix right there. I did get the 4 gig, 64 gig internal storage model. They do have a 6 gig, 128 gig model as well, which is a little pricier. This model, however, is $180. Now, let's just go ahead and open it up right away. Looks like you have your phone and some packaging as well. And here it is. Here's a look at that device. And like I said, essentially no forehead. Looks like you have sensors and earpiece, but you do have a fingerprint scanner, and the bottom right is where that camera is. But I'm going to set this to the side for just a sec, and we're just going to look real quick at what else is in the box, what comes with it. Looks like you do have a thumb drive right here, which I'm not exactly sure. It says 8 gigs. This might actually be a reviewer's guide. I'm not actually sure if that comes with the model that you buy. Anyways, you do have a micro SD or micro USB cable, and then looks like an EU or Chinese AC adapter. Finally, you have some extra goodies, a SIM ejection tool. You have a booklet, limited warranty card. It looks like a screen protector, always great to include some extra goodies, and what looks like a case as well, which have covered buttons, open slot for your headphone jack, down at the bottom, speakers as well. Now that we know what's in the box, let's take a closer look at this device. And I'm going to press hold the power button. It's going to power on. Let's go ahead and peel off some of these screen protectors. There's one on the back as well. So peel this bad boy off too. And there we go. So there is, it looks like the dual camera on the back has a cover as well. One's 16 megapixel, one is 8 megapixel. Anyways, it's starting on up. Let's take a close look at this design. Now, it's a fairly reflective device. As you can see, there is me. But anyways, looking down at the bottom, you have your charging port, micro USB. It looks like dual speakers, but I don't believe they are dual. I think just one has sound come out of them. Looking over on the left side is your SIM card slot, along with the micro SD card slot. On the right side, you have a power button and 2 volume rockers. Power button has the same feel as the volume buttons. Not cheap feeling by any means. Definitely a solid press to actually press these buttons. Up at the top, like I said, the dual camera. Headphone jack up at the top. And there's a look at that little bump. The camera protrudes out just a little bit. And then, of course, at the front, fingerprint scanner, front-facing camera. A little bit interesting there. And then you'll see up at the top you have sensors and a little earpiece as well. Now let's go ahead and run through and get started. I'm going to skip through everything and only talk about what's out of the ordinary. Also worth noting, this is a 720p display that uses the Samsung Super AMOLED panel. So let's go ahead and set up that fingerprint scanner. Skipped a bunch of accounts setup, but just press down, lift, and repeat. Going to get my entire thumb. And there we go, fingerprint added. I can add another if I want to. I'm not going to. And it looks like I'm going to set up later and finish. So it's asking for some permissions right off the bat, I believe, for their launcher. And let's go. Of course, as I do in all my unboxing videos, before I do anything, I want to jump into settings, go into storage, and you'll see 5 gigs of 64 gigs is used. So I tap on it. Looks like you have about 51 gigs free of internal storage out of the 64. So keep that in mind. Looks like you have some buttons. Looks like you can quickly minimize those on-screen back, home, and recent apps buttons with this little drop-down arrow, which you do have on-screen buttons, which is a little interesting. I don't believe they could fit capacitive buttons, especially with that front-facing camera right there. By default, looks like you can lock screen, go into game mode, read mode, clean tasks, a bunch of different tasks that you can do. Swiping over gets you to some articles, some news. Also went ahead and switched the wallpaper, got some different colors, so you can kind of take a look at those bezels. So you'll see very, very minimal bezels. This device does run Android 7.0 Nougat, and you'll see out of the box, it does have a bit of a theme to it. A bit of a skin as well. You'll see About Phone, Android 7.0. You'll see on-screen buttons right there, which you can minimize fairly easily. Looks like a little cat keeps coming down. If I tap on it, you'll see it shows no. And looks like these are some themes that you can actually apply. So you'll see there is a theme engine integrated into this device, which is nice. Let's go ahead and test out that fingerprint scanner real quick. Lock the device, press my thumb on it, press it again. All right, now let's turn on the display, press my thumb. Fairly quick, seems to be working well as it should. All right, next let's try that camera, and I'm pretty interested to see what it's gonna look like with that angle of that front-facing camera, if it's gonna have you flip over the phone or whatnot. First of all, let's go ahead and snap a couple pictures. Not too bad shutter speed. Anyways, let's go ahead and flip it to the front-facing camera. And it says, please turn the phone. So it does actually recommend flipping the phone over, which isn't that big of a deal to me. I rarely use the front-facing camera, so having to do this isn't that bad. However, I'm curious to see in third-party apps, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So your selfies, you'll see here, you're going to have to look in the bottom right-hand corner to actually get a selfie. And it looks like when I go to press that button even, I can cover it up with my thumb. You're going to have to either use the volume rockers, which isn't too bad, or of course your left hand isn't going to cover up that sensor. Anyways, looks like you have a bunch of modes. Face beauty, you have a blur mode, you have a monochrome mode, black and white, panorama mode, and a pro mode, which is always great to see to customize the pictures to your liking. And that fingerprint scanner does act as a home button as well. So of course you'll see you have your on-screen buttons, but you can also press home with the fingerprint scanner. Anyways, that's everything I want to talk about in my unboxing. Also worth noting that it does have a 3380 milliamp hour battery, so with that 720p display should have very good battery life. So an interesting looking phone. I actually do like the bezel-less trend. Drop a comment, let me know what you think about it as well. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe as well.